Okay, one more problem for Mika, who wrote in on Facebook. It says define an operation heart on the real numbers as follows. M heart n is equal to all that jazz. We'll look at all that jazz in a second. And then I forgot to write out part of my problem. Let's evaluate, I don't know, for heart -3. How about that? Okay. Good news again. Mika, whatever site you're on, I don't want to name any names, but this is of a greater complexity than what's on the GED, so hallelujah. This is, again, we're falling in the area of number theory, or sometimes you might even say discrete mathematics. But it's not hard to do, so that's the good news. So I'll play with it. Even though you won't have this weird thing where they give you strange symbols on the GED, you might have something where you have to do the other skills in this problem. You wouldn't see the weird symbols, but you would see all the rest. So it's not like this is bad practice. So let's take a look here. When it says define an operation, operations are the things we do in math. We know lots of operations. We know add, subtract, multiply, divide. You guys know like raising things to a power, like square is an operation, or even square rooting. There's actually a lot of different operations, many of which appear on the GED. There is no known operation heart, at least not that I know of. But what I'm saying to you is, I'm saying let's define one. Let's call heart a math thing that you do. And then right here, it tells you how to do it. Here's how we're going to define it. To take M and heart it with N, literally, like heart is a thing you do, we're going to just do this math. Okay, so to heart M and N, do this math over here. To heart M and N, do that math. And so that's what we will do. If this first one is M, we're evaluating for heart -3, and that second one is N. That just means that I'm going to write this expression that I had up there, M plus 3 over M plus N plus 3. So you write down the original expression, and this is the part that I said will appear on the GED. Even though you won't see probably these weird symbols on the GED, you will definitely have to evaluate expressions. And that means to plug in values and to see what the expression is equal to after you put in values. Let me show you what I mean by that. So I have this original expression, okay? And now what we see by this statement here for heart -3 is that my 4 is going to be like my M. And so everywhere I used to see an M, I'm going to write a 4 now. I'm going to write a 4 for this M right here. I'm not going to change my plus sign. My plus sign has to remain plus, and I'm not going to change any numbers. That's the number 3. And then I put it over, because of this fraction bar I see here, I keep my fraction bar. And now I see M again, so I'm going to write a 4 again, because all my M's are going to turn into 4s. And I see this symbol plus, I'll write my plus. And I see an N. Well, up here it says that N was supposed to be -3, so I'll put -3 here. And that is supposed to be adding with 3. This is what you will see all over the GED. It's known as substitution. Substitution. Not only will it appear all over the GED, it's going to appear in every one of your algebra classes that you're able to substitute. And what substitute means is trade out the variables for their known values. We're trading out variables for a known value. We're trading out one equivalent thing for another, one equivalent expression for another. And this is basically what all math is built on. We do it all the time. Now, as I often say to my classes, a lot of students have the problem that instead of replacing M with 4, then they write 4 and M. Don't be that student. Think about it. If I told you that I was going to have a substitute in class, I said, you guys, next class there's going to be a substitute. Would you expect me to be there? No, you wouldn't. If there was going to be a substitute, the real teacher wouldn't be there. Only the substitute would be there. So please make sure that if you substitute 4 for M, see I wrote 4 here, instead of M, you don't write M as well. We've substituted them out. And now that I've done the substitution, now this is the work I can do. And don't panic. We'll follow our order of operations. Remember that the order of operations, the first step is groupings. And one of the kinds of groupings we can have is the numerator and denominator of a fraction. So we're going to deal with our top grouping first. The top of the numerator here is 4 plus 3 is 7. And now I'll deal with the grouping in my denominator. I know that negative 3 and positive 3 will cancel out in addition, so I'm just going to end up with 4. And this is actually a great answer. This is a true answer. There is nothing wrong with this answer. This might be the right answer, 7/4. This is an improper fraction. A lot of students think that we can't have improper fractions for an answer. We sure could, though. There's nothing wrong with that, and that's how the multiple choice might be expressed. But they could also be expressed as what's known as a mixed number. Okay, this is an improper fraction because the top is bigger than the bottom. The numerator is bigger than the denominator. That's known as improper fraction, and all improper fractions can be rewritten as mixed numbers by doing the implied division. 7/4 means the same as 7 divided by 4. So you could do that division. Let me come do it in side work. 7 divided by 4, or 4 into 7. Well, 4 goes into 7 once, but it doesn't go in perfectly. There's a remainder of 3. And right there, I see my mixed number. This is the same as 1 and 3/4. 1 and 3/4. Again, either one of these is a right answer. Neither one is more right than the other, so you have to know both. All right, I hope that clears that up. Again, if you have any questions or you want me to answer your math problems, you need to go to my Light and Salt Facebook page or YouTube page and drop your questions there.